and welcome to the Holistic Goth channel, where I've never known how to do a full face of makeup, but I have two organic items on, and I have a full face of natural organic cold pressed oil on, which, I think is a great substitute for makeup. But if you do wear it, you can always use some organic brands or the very recyclable packaging. More natural products are going to be nourishing to your skin while giving you those aesthetic enhancements. Just why not have something with some natural ingredients anywhere you can get on your body at all times, especially to balance other things out. I had a friend who was like, yeah, I was wearing these press-on nails once where as a man was complimenting them, they fell off one at a time throughout the evening, and it was just like no way to repair it. And I thought that was one of the best stories about nails ever. So tonight we're just chilling. I've had a really playful day, and it started late, which I've excused before as scorpionic sleep patterns because we're notorious night owls, and I've had somebody correct me before when I said that it explained why my sleep schedule was on its head again. They said a resounding, "No, it don't. I'm a Scorpio too." So that was a much older gentleman that said that. And I do feel like speaking with people that are a generation or two older is like, going back to older films where it's just like the dialogue is just better. It's a little more well thought out, maybe more of a honed in skill versus what a lot of us have now. And as far as my social skills, I am just interested in hanging out tonight because I normally do one person poetry parties, and I was just excited writing a bunch of drafts today, and I was thinking that it would be fun to read you some drafts while I explain that they are drafty. And I started the day late, and it was to a like an energy reading of all the zodiac signs, which are considered in this kind of reading angles of the soulmate cycle. I love listening to Stu's Love Tarot's readings on the soulmate cycle that just gives one card for each sign on Friday. And today, for the first time ever, he just had like the noise of a bird be the reading for his Leo angle, which is really funny. He just like repeated his bird that was like cawing in the background, saying, "Yep, that's your reading. Your your runner wants to talk to you," but and then just like mimicked the parrot sound. So I just really appreciated that this morning, and it really just started the day off as like kind of playful as I felt. And I got a lot of work done today, but couldn't help thinking of the feeling as being like the scene from Monty Python and the Holy Grail where King Arthur says, "No, like I've changed my mind. Like let's not go to Camelot. It's a silly place." And I'm like, I don't know. I feel like I'm just like knights dancing on a table, like getting my work done. But I'm really excited about all of it, and I'm working really hard and doing really different things than I've ever done before. And I can't wait to read these poems to you that I've been just kind of working on. Like, really, I've got like, I don't know, probably a couple of hundred from the last year alone. I've been writing all the time, and I was thinking instead of editing something and showing you something from like 6 months ago, like, why not just read you what I was working on today? Because, it's what I was excited about to play with today. I also had this thought earlier while watching an alternative channel that a lot of people seem to expect goths to be very solemn and stern all the time. And I think anyone who behaves one dimensionally is probably just wearing a mask because, masks are only so malleable. And so if somebody can only show you like a forward facing, like really, just consistent one note kind of thing, I figure that that's like probably a charade anyway. Like a cardboard cutout that if you went around the backside, like you'd realize that it was like, a two-dimensional town, just, pictures of a building on cardboard. But for like someone's personality or interests. And the truth is that, goths just, I appreciate the whole spectrum, everything really light and really dark, and just loving especially the combination of the two, which is why I think a more universally, yeah, just dark and morbid sort of outlook, existential rather, more romantic and that sort of thing. I think that it's so fun that that community that I'm a part of is also just ridiculous, which has been one of my favorite words since I was a preteen. I find that like the most wild senses of humor that I've ever found are certainly in the alternative community, and that just thrills me. So, on that note, I write poetry that is all over the place, and it tends to be really silly or really stern and solemn. And so, this is my fairy tale book that I'm going to read to you out of. There's, I believe, 7 poems that I marked. Oh, I didn't mark it. 247365. Is it Thursday? That seems odd. What happened to Tuesday and Wednesday? Gone in a fog? Why do days need names? Just a way to overcomplicate. Stars rise and fall the same. After all, you should be here every day, but you're not. Vulnerable. Looking up at the night sky, pale and in shame, I think you look good covered in mud in the rain. I think you look better with tattoos, still leaking blood and in pain. I think you look your best when you're with me, going insane, because I'd never leave you in such a state. Secondary sentence. I was angelic and you were demonic. I deserved it, not to this extent, and not from you, but from him. So I'll take where I can get the pain and punishment. But once I've paid my penance, with you as a conduit, you'll have to get yours from another her, as I had a secondary torture. Masochists finding our sadists, till justice is served. Growing fond. The bunny keeps me company from under the stairs of the balcony, where it's sheltering and he can see into my bedroom. Through the window I'm smiling and waving. Sometimes he's not there, going about his business as a hare, but soon returns to close his eyes, where I can watch from my bedside. Today I didn't see him. Yesterday I didn't see him. Tomorrow will I? Did he die? Or like the other men in my life, is it just that time for him to take off running and abandon me? Must I settle for a squirrel? They're so hard to keep track of, coming and going in a blur. How will I know which is mine? Maybe I'll just be alone forever. Oh, hey, my bunny's back. Rubbish. Wow, what an abusive sack of trash. The garbage dump would give you back. What a lump of a man. Like nuclear waste, hard to bury in the sand. In the vastness of space, you'd leave a stain. Anywhere you could be thrown away. Poorly played. You act like I'm stupid, but I wanted to be blind to the truth of it. The way you were dumb, tight-lipped. I thought if my act was bought, you'd get comfortable enough for yours to drop. You didn't. Vibrationally challenged. I don't have to stop loving you just because you're a baboon. From a jackass lineage, lemming and dodo bird too. You can still love me, like a parrot, parakeet, or thoroughbred swan. Something that makes you swoon. Something high flying that passes over the moon. You can look up at me. I'll sweep you off your feet. Find a tree for a halfway meet. You know you want to. So it's fun showing you just what I mess around with. Hopefully, you can tell that, like, just that ring of it not being polished. I think, a lot of people want to say, like, oh, I don't like poetry, or I don't understand it, or I don't really know if it's good or bad. You don't have to be like somebody who knows a lot about wine to be able to say whether or not you think a wine tastes good. I mean, any art, I think you are the expert in it. And if you like it, then you like it. And if you don't, then you don't. And it's always nice to be able to support like why you do or don't like something. But yeah, I always like to encourage people to, form their own opinion about poetry, whether it's modern or something that's, well praised and older. It is completely your preference. If you don't like the book Little Women, well, join the club. Like a lot of classics aren't very good, and a lot of modern poetry, honestly, like I just don't really relate to, or it's just not my favorite style and stuff. So yeah, I really enjoy showing you this kind of thing, so that way, if you like it or don't, like hopefully it's something that you can add to your poetic experience that a lot of people would definitely like to um, I think have like a little bit of a better understanding of and stuff. It was one of those things that I really did enjoy studying. Thank you so much for joining me. Like I said, it's been a really fun day. Really am working on some massive things. I'm really changing up some directions and taking all the big steps to do that. And so it's very exciting to see things moving forward at a really fast pace. I tend to do very well with quicker paces. Thank you so much for making this a more than one person poetry party. Subscribe for more healthy and alternative content. I know why we're not supposed to stay up all night according to the traditional Chinese medicine body clock. I know at least 100 ways to cure insomnia. I just love staying up late at night.